Hey guys and gals, Barbie Figueroa here, and today I want to share a video with you about dealing with depression. And as I'm sure you all are well aware, we lost our beloved, Robin Williams. He was one of my absolute favorite actors. I grew up on Mork and Mindy, and watched the Dead Poets Society, Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't have to tell you, I'm sure you've heard of him. He was always pretty open about his depression and alcoholism and stuff like that. And it hurt me deeply because I can relate to that. I know there's different levels of depression, but I have struggled with depression in the past, everyone's depression is different. It's rooted in different things, but what I can tell you is my personal experience with it. So here's what I believe. I believe that when we're depressed and when we're consumed with what's going on in our head, which is a lot of times negative, it's deep rooted in maybe something that happened when we were kids, and without going into too much detail, I lacked that touchy-feely love that I needed as a kid. I lacked that. I grew up in a very authoritarian type of family. I grew up in a very, very highly religious family, and basically, although my parents loved me, they never truly accepted me because I wasn't like them. And so that makes you kind of go through life feeling like there's something wrong with you, and like you're not good enough, and that you're not worthy of love, because if you're not accepted the way you are, you have to constantly be fixed, because you're not just accepted for who you are, for your gifts, your talents. And I think that this is an issue that goes around through society. It is manifested and perpetuated in society where, you're not good enough. You've got to look like the girl on the magazine cover, or you have to be, affiliated with this religious group or whatever. And basically all those things which are external, they boil down to not having enough love and not having enough self-love, right? And so since I didn't get that kind of, and let's not even get into the school bullying stuff, okay? Like, I got made fun of when I was a kid. I'm a Cuban girl, I have Latina curves, and I've always had a big butt. And thank God for Jennifer Lopez, who made big butt, and Kardashian, who made big butts, in. But, if you were a curvy girl with boobs and a butt growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, you were made fun of. So I got made fun of a lot, to the point where I ended up wearing a lot of boxy clothes to school because I wanted to hide my body. So all these things, not being accepted for who I was, for what I looked like, not being able to accept myself because the people around me didn't fully, we're a reflection of we're a product of, how we were raised and stuff, and who we surround ourselves by. So for me, I've always struggled in that department. And I've felt alone many times in my life, even when I've been surrounded by people, because, it's that constant struggle with your internal dialogue that says you're not worthy, you're too fat, you're too ugly, you're not skinny enough, you're not good enough, you're not religious enough, you know what I mean? So one of the things that really did truly help me, to be honest, is to stop focusing on myself, because when you're depressed, you can just, it's like a pit, right? It's like a downward pit where, and it's just all consuming, right? You start to feel sorry for yourself, and then you have bad feelings, so you act on those bad feelings. And so what usually happens when you act on bad feelings, you eat things that make you feel worse, And it's a vicious cycle. Hold on, my Mac just went out. Oh, this is so frustrating. And so it's a vicious cycle. And so one of the things that helped me was becoming a coach and putting my foot down. Putting my foot down and saying, that's it. I'm going to get out of this funk and I'm going to lose the weight and I'm going to slowly start changing my habits and I'm going to turn that downward spiral into an upward spiral. And you know, no one can take you really out of depression except for yourself. Now, again, I'm not trying to, if you're in a really, really depressed state, you know, this video may not really be specifically speaking to you. I'm talking more about people that have been depressed and so they turn to food to fill the void because they're looking for love somehow, and you find, you know, you find that you fill the void with food. And I would fill the void with food and, you know, and other things, you know. But what helped me was when I became a coach, you know, I stopped focusing on me, all right, and I started focusing on kind of like what I had to do. Like, oh, I have to, you know, I had to concern myself with, okay, I got to follow a program. I got to concern myself with learning about nutrition, or I have to concern myself with all these things. So it kind of took my mind off stuff, you know. And then once I lost the first 10 pounds, it really, like, it boosted my confidence, you know, because if there's one thing that I know, you really cannot control many things in your life, but you can control your exercise and you can control, you know, what you eat. So I still struggle sometimes when I feel down, I feel depressed, because, you know, a lot of the pain that we carry, especially from childhood, it's deep, deep rooted, and it's constantly, you have to work at, you know, fixing yourself all the time. And so one of the ways that I do it is by sharing with others in the hopes that it will help heal them. So yeah, so, you know, it's kind of like give away what you don't have. And I've always heard the opposite. You can't give away what you don't have, but you know what? In a way, I don't think that's true, because if you lacked love or if you lacked attention as a child, you can give that away to somebody else. And in some way, shape or form, it kind of fills you up, right? By giving it to somebody else, by giving someone else love, by giving someone else attention, by giving someone else focus, you fill that up. And so I think that at the end of the day, the bottom line is that depression is just a lack of love, a lack of self-love, you know. And so one of the things that helped me, like I said, was becoming a coach. It kind of gave me a purpose, and starting to lose the weight. Because once I started to lose the weight, it made me feel better about myself. It made me more confident. And it starts to change your mindset once you start putting better things into your body and all that good stuff. So anyway, if you are struggling right now, or if you maybe you're more of an emotional type of person like I am. Maybe it's because I'm a Pisces, I don't know. But if you're going through that emotional thing, you know, here's what I recommend you do. Start focusing on something else, you know. Focus on doing something good for yourself. Focus on, you know, taking one step towards getting out of that pit, towards getting out of that downward spiral. For me, it was coaching. For me, it was, you know, working out, exercising, you know, the whole oxygen thing going to your brain and just making you feel better and pumping blood through your heart, you know, all that stuff. It just, you know, when your physiology starts to feel better, then your mind starts to kind of, you know, catch up or whatever. So that's really what worked for me. So, you know, if you want more information, if you want to look more into starting your own weight loss journey, and focusing on, you know, having your big fat comeback, right? That's the way I call it, having your big fat comeback. You know, make sure to go to my blog at www.mybigfatcomeback.com, and you can sign up for my, you know, for my list. That way you're always connected. You'll always be on top of any new posts or new videos that I do, any promotions or tips or specials that come up, and anyway, so if you have struggled with depression, or if you've turned to food because of a lack of self-love or a lack of love in growing up, in your childhood, what have you done? What has helped you? Does exercise help you? Do you notice that you feel differently when you work out? I'd love to hear what you do. So leave them in the comment section below if you would, and make sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel. And again, visit my blog, www.mybigfatcomeback.com, because that way we will always be in touch, because that's my home base on the internet. So anyway, this has been Barbie for Girl. I've been going for over 10 minutes, so I'm gonna let you go now. But anyway, click on the link below, visit my blog, make sure to register to stay connected. And if you are ready to start your own weight loss journey as a Beachbody coach or using the Beachbody products, you can find out more information by clicking on the links in the description under this video. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. God bless. Love you guys, and I pray for your health and your happiness. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.